Hello, welcome to McBoss Capital channel. My name is Michael Chu. This is a US market recap video for the week ending June 27th, 2025. We have a very strong close on Nasdaq, and in fact, I believe it did make a new closing high. So this is very bullish. So you can see this big bar this week, very strong, volume is higher as well. Looks very healthy. So on the daily chart, we can see we have this huge correction earlier in the year from February to April, and then we bottom on April 7th, and we have come back up like a V-shaped rebound, very strong. And then right now we are going through a 5-day updates record here. Again, very strong week right here. It's a very strong rebound. And then it'll probably be on newspaper this weekend. Nasdaq actually hit new closing high right here. So also another bullish sign. Right now, it looks a little bit extended. Generally when it get too extended, it'll pull back. So, it could bounce one more or two more days. This one right here was very, very extended. You can see like this is the level. It was extended from the 10-day before it pulls back. So we are getting close to that level. Like that could go a little bit more extended as well. But we'll see how this goes. Another bullish sign is the 50-day, which is the red line right here, is possibly going to cross the 200-day black line here, the moving average. So that is very important because that is usually a long-term trend. Once it goes above the 200-day, it could become a long-term trend and continue this run here. So we'll be watching for that this coming week. Looking at S&P, we also have a very, very strong week and very similar to Nasdaq. It actually make new closing high, 61.73 versus 61.47. Another strong week here. Also, pretty much a V-shaped rebound here. Very, very strong. Looking at the daily chart, except for Wednesday, which was just very, very tight, but all 4 out of 5 days are positive, and also very strong bounce here. And again, we see the same new closing high here, very, very powerful. Again, we're seeing the 10-day right here. So, little, not too extended yet, but we're getting closer to higher levels of extension, for example, like right here. Right. So we'll see if it pulls back or not after that. So we might have 1 or 2 more days of bounce, or we could pull back right here. So we'll see. Also, like this one, very similar, has the 200-day right here, and 50-day is coming up very strong. That could possibly cross over as well. So on Friday for Nasdaq and most other index, including S&P, we have a sharp down intraday move after I think U.S. Announced that they're canceling their trade talks with Canada due to some unfairness in I believe taxing the tech companies for their publications, news or something like that. I can't remember the exact details, but that was a big news because Canada is probably one of the top trading partners, but the market bounced back surprisingly very strong as well. So pushing them to close near the highs right here. So that's very interesting, right? Given that July 9th is also the deadline for most trade talks. So there could be some uncertainty here coming up and more choppiness like this. So just something to be aware of. So another good news is we didn't have any distribution days this week based on IBD signals. That is very good because we have a very strong rebound week. But as you see, going back 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and 5 weeks, we have been seeing constant distribution for the last 5 weeks. And we finally bounced back this week without any distribution. That is very strong. And you can see the accumulation of stocks is incredible, 600. We haven't seen that in a long time by Friday. And then on the industry groups, we have 115 groups under accumulation. And we also see on the stock side, sector-wise, technology, retail, industrial, health, commodities, financial, most of them are picking up except the commodities, energy area. But financials are leading the way. Industrial second place. and tech number 3, and retail number 4, and even some health are picking up. So very strong accumulation by the end of the week. Very good sign for the market. And last week we closed, the number of distribution days was really high the week before for Nasdaq, 7 on S&P, and now it has, due to time after 5 weeks they drop off. So now we only have 1 on Nasdaq and 5 on S&P. So so it's definitely improving in the overall picture. The other thing we notice is on the index, we're seeing huge volume on Friday, probably due to the intraday swing that we just talked about, and really high volume. So that's another good news because we close at the top of the range on much higher volume. So Dow Jones Industrials also have a very strong week. Look at this bar right here, up 3.8% for the week. We have a V-shaped rebound as well. We're not quite at the highs, so this is a weaker index compared to S&P and Nasdaq, but it still looks very good. It kind of come above this level right here, and now it's moving up pretty strong as well. You look at the slope of that trend line right there. So we still have quite a way to come back. So we'll see if this will continue as well. Go to Russell 2000, and we're seeing a good week as well, very strong bar, but we are heading into possible resistance level with the black line, which is the 200-day moving average. We do have almost like a V-shaped rebound as well, but again, this is probably the weakest of all the indexes, it's might have a challenge here. We'll see how it goes next week. So here's the 200-day line on the daily chart here. We just came to it and then it kind of pulled back from the highs here as well. So right there, and then we did bounce, but it didn't come back more than halfway here. So we'll see how it goes next week. Next, we look at the Innovator IBD 50 ETF here. Also looking very good here on the weekly chart. We have a strong bar bounce here from the lows here, and then also we're seeing a nice V-shaped rebound as well. So it looks really good. On the daily chart here, we see that we have a couple of bad days here. Wednesday and Friday also kind of reversed as well, but it didn't really bounce back that strong. But we still have a very strong trend line at the bottom range here. So we'll see how it goes next week. But the momentum is still pretty strong despite the pullback on Friday intraday. So here you go. We went up, but again, we didn't really make new high intraday. Then we fall really hard, and then we bounce kind of weak, right? So again, something to consider. I think, if you follow my growth stocks video next, that will come out after this video. I can see some stocks are pretty extended and they just kind of stop moving now upward. So, I'm not sure we deal for a pullback at this moment, but there's a high chance of that. So just lots of stocks extended, right? So this could be the problem right now. So that's all I need to say about this one. But overall picture, we are still within the cup base. It is, a pretty strong trend line here, except for this one day that pulled back pretty strong on Monday. So in terms of news this week, we see that Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said that a trade agreement between China and U.S. has been finalized this week. And then Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said on Friday that U.S. Could also complete the majority of the important trade talks by Labor Day. So that's the trade news with U.S. and China. And then Trump also talked about the ending trade with talks with Canada due to this digital service tax on American tech firms. And it calls this tax a 3% levy on revenue earned from Canadian users, direct and blatant attack on U.S. businesses. The PCE rose 2.3% year over year in May, meeting analyst expectations. However, core PCE rose 2.7%, which was harder than the 2.6% expected. Personal income fell 0.4%, below expectations for 0.3%. Going to next week, we have a shortened holiday for July 4th, so it's a federal holiday. But we have labor data coming out with job openings on Tuesday, June ADP employment report coming out on Wednesday, and then we have the U.S. jobs report for Thursday. And earnings are pretty light. Progressive Software, MSC Industrial, and Constellation Brands. In the 10-year Treasury yield, we are continuing this downtrend. It's a very steep one as well. So this is possible good news for the market. That's probably why market has been acting also pretty strong as well. We keep making new lows here. The US dollar also kind of correlate to that a little bit. It's been falling pretty hard as well. It did bounce back on Friday, maybe due to it did bounce back. So I'm not maybe the Canada's talks also influenced this as well. Oil hasn't really come back after this big fall right here. So like this is more like an L shape, which is a very bearish pattern rather than a bounce. Gold has also fallen below the 50-day. It really cracked it, a gap down. This is very negative. So something to also be aware of. Silver is also starting to show topping signs. It's kind of forming a downtrend right now. It's below the 10-day as well. So for copper here, we have a huge bounce on Thursday. Not sure if there was any related news, but that's a huge bounce here. So that's, generally copper represent the economy. So that's a good news. And then Friday, even though it gapped down in the morning, but it bounced all the way back. So also another positive development there. So that's really a good sign. As for Bitcoin, we did fall all the way to the 50-day moving average here, and then we bounced back really strong for a couple of days. So Tuesday, Wednesday, we can bounce back, but we are still in this downtrend. You can see it's having a hard time crossing that trend line here. So Thursday and Friday was kind of milk. So we'll see if it's setting up to break out, because the volume on the sell side Thursday and Friday is really low. So there's a high chance of breaking out above this trend line here. So we're going to look at this chart here from IBD newspaper here. Looking at the advanced decline line right here from NYSE. We did make new high as well on Friday. So that looks really good at the bottom here. So this is good. As the index make new high, we also want to see broad participation by the general market. And here on the Nasdaq at the bottom here, it hasn't make new high. This one, I don't know why the Nasdaq lines tend to lag, and maybe because it just doesn't get broad participation in the tech group. But this index already, making new high as we saw earlier. But again, we're seeing the NYSE Nasdaq advanced decline line lag a bit. So that's the difference there. Next, we're gonna look at the SPIC semiconductor group here. When that semiconductor ETF. And very strong week as well. You can see we are very close to breaking to new high. This has been an incredible V-shaped rebound as well. It definitely have surpassed this middle point right here. But now we're trying to go in for the all-time high. This week it went up almost 7%. Very strong chart. And also volume is pretty high here recently, so that's also good. This is a very strong slope. You're looking at the 10-day going up very strongly right now. Probably the best group right now, just because it has really moved this week. The three mega cap stocks that I follow on the chip side is Nvidia. Here we have a very strong breakout on Wednesday, highest volume since this base here. So this is very, very positive. You usually want to see huge volume on the breakout side. And we do see that at least on the daily chart. Also on the weekly chart, it is the largest volume since this base here. So that's also another good sign. So the next stock is Avago. This one already broke out recently to new highs. So Nvidia in that sense is actually lagging this one, and this one also closed very strong this week. We see that it's moving up nicely as well. Friday it didn't pull back too much, and it also didn't go up too much. So it's kind of a sideways movement. Given the selling in the morning, probably this is a good sign that it didn't close that much lower. And again, very tight bar on Friday. So yeah, close range was 50% of the range of Friday. So very, very strong movement, able to hold up. Again, this is a nice breakout. It consolidate after it breaks out and pull back. So we might see this in other stocks, this kind of behavior where it breaks out right here for a few days and then it pull back, right, to near the 10-day usually, or the previous pivot, stuff like that. Sometimes go even as far as the 21-day moving the pink line, and then it bounced, right? So that's a very common behavior for growth stocks. So just watch out for that. But this one already tested recently, so now it's moving up nicely here. Last mega chip stock that I follow is Taiwan Semiconductor. This one also has a very strong breakout on Tuesday on higher volume as well. And this is moving really strong right now. It doesn't even hesitate. Looks really good. TSM, huge manufacturer. I believe they're going to invest lots of money in the US as well. So, very strong earnings. It does come down a little bit here, but, overall it looks really good. Very strong weekly close as well. We move on to IGB, the iShares Tech Software Group, mainly software enterprise. And here we have also a positive week. Didn't go up as much as semiconductors, but it is getting also closer to the breakout zone here, the all-time high. Again, very strong V-shaped rebound as well. Very nice. On the daily chart, we saw the recent pullback right here, and then we bounced. Friday was kind of not a good day. And you can see Friday kind of make a new high, and then it pulls back and closes at the bottom. So it didn't bounce back like the index did, right? So that's the problem here. You can see it went down, and then and that's kind of bad in that sense. So software lagging quite a bit on Friday. I'm not sure, I know Palantir was hurt. Again, I don't know if there was news. I have to do a little bit more research, but this one broke a trend line that is pretty hard. I mean, we broke it before and we bounced back right away. So if it does bounce back right away, that will be a good sign. But if it doesn't, we could see this go further to the red line, which is the 50-day. So just to be aware of this again. I'm not sure if it's just because of Palantir, but obviously not, because this is a whole very big group here. We have lots of stocks in this group. So, but it's just generally, it was lagging on Friday. I don't know if that's a sign that the software are going to take a break now. There's something to be mindful of. But yeah, so there's a big difference between software and chips by the end of Friday here. So Microsoft, has broken out right here and slowly moving up, and then we got this little bit of a shakeout here, and then we bounced really strong from that shakeout, and then we have been going strong since. Friday was again not doing too much, but it didn't fall as much as well. So overall, it's trying to hold up with some buying at the end of the day here to bring it back up. So this one's definitely acting relative strength wise pretty strong as well. So Google, definitely in terms of the mega caps, this is probably a laggard compared to others. It hasn't made much headway. It's still stuck in this bottom, like mostly in the near the halfway range right now of the base here. So it hasn't made too much progress like other stocks did. And but it did have a very strong Friday close. Again, not sure if there was news related to this, but it did close really strong. And if you look at intraday chart, we see lots of buying right here. Wow, look at the last 3 bars here on the 5-minute chart. That's incredible. Next, we have Meta also bouncing pretty strong for the week, and it might be making a new all-time high. Let me just double check on the daily chart here. 740. Okay, not quite yet, but very close, right? Very close. 733 versus 740. Also a very strong week after this sideways movement, and then we bounce. So yeah, looking very good. Next, we have Amazon. Amazon also bouncing very strong for the week here. High volume here. So that's also very good other sign. Looking at the daily chart, we see it break above this recent pullback here. And, close very strong as well. So definitely some of the mega caps got some really strong bid on the end of the day here. Very interesting. Next, we look at Apple. Apple hasn't really done much. This is quite not very, positive, right? It's just kind of stuck in this zone. It's kind of riding the downtrend line right now, having a hard time moving back up above that downtrend line. This is not good news for Apple. Partly because I think a lot of their AI stuff has been disappointing investors in terms of their rollout and stuff. And it's just not making lots of downside anymore. But but it's not coming up, right? So maybe at some point it will, I'm not sure, but it is kind of slowly coming down to this downtrend line again, and it's getting tighter and tighter. This is basically showing no progress whatsoever in the last few months. And if you look at the long-term chart, it actually topped in late last year, and it hasn't come back since, right? So this is very negative. So looking at Tesla, we also seeing this quite disappointing week for Tesla because, with all the robot taxi news coming out from last Sunday, it moved on Monday, but then it kind of gave back all its gains by Friday. Very negative in that sense because, it could have continued its movement since Monday, but it didn't. Instead, it came all the way back down below the short-term moving averages. So, yeah, definitely disappointing from a technical perspective. So, we'll have to be more patient with this stock and see if it can like kind of come out again. So, yeah, very choppy right now. Finally, we have Netflix here. Netflix has been probably the all-star from the mega cap. It's now at 563 billion market cap, strong earnings guidance, and obviously, the main show, Squid Game is out again for season 3. Lots of positive news right now. So yeah, very strong week. Look at that, up 7% for the week. And not only is making all-time high, but this one broke out quite early compared to the other mega caps, and you can see it just continued to run, and right now it looks like it's accelerating again. So very strong movement here. So yeah, thank you all for watching this video. Hope you guys have a good weekend. Please like and subscribe, and my next growth stock list video will come out very soon. Thank you for watching and appreciate you all, and feel free to put any comments and like and subscribe.